We spend billions on anti-aging creams, yet we spend our days marinating in cortisol, staring into blue light, and eating substances that literally caramelize our insides. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Aging is not just time. Aging is damage. It is a biological error code that accumulates every time you sleep 1 hour less or let stress burn your DNA. You are not just dying naturally. You are committing slow-motion suicide. Today, we dissect 30 biological crimes you are committing against your own body. From the sugar that turns your skin into old leather to the innocent habits that are shrinking your brain. Statistically, you are making at least 10 of them right now. Let's look at the damage. Fact 1. Glycation, the sugar face. Let's start with your favorite morning companion, the donut, or the latte with 3 pumps of vanilla syrup. You think the worst thing sugar does is add a few inches to your waistline. If only you were that lucky. Sugar is actually a cosmetic surgeon, but a very bad one who hates you. When you consume excess sugar, it enters your bloodstream and attaches itself to proteins and fats in a process called glycation. Specifically, it loves to bind to collagen and elastin, the very proteins that keep your face bouncy and youthful. Think of a soft, fresh piece of bread. Now toast it until it's burnt and hard. That is essentially what sugar does to your skin. It forms harmful molecules charmingly called AGEs, Advanced Glycation End Products. These AGEs cause your collagen fibers to become stiff, brittle, and yellow. They snap instead of stretching. The result isn't just aging, it's structural collapse. Deep crevices, sagging jowls, and a loss of radiance that no amount of expensive retinol can fix because the damage is happening in the scaffolding of your face. You aren't just eating a treat, you are literally caramelizing yourself from the inside out. Fact 2. Burning the fuse, telomere destruction. If you want to know exactly how long you have left, you need to look at your shoelaces. Well, metaphorically. Inside almost every cell in your body, your DNA is packaged into chromosomes, and at the tips of these chromosomes are protective caps called telomeres. Think of them like those little plastic tips at the end of shoelaces, aglets, that keep the thread from fraying. Every time your cells divide to repair your body, these telomeres get a tiny bit shorter. It's a biological countdown clock. When the plastic tip is gone, the shoelace frays, the cell stops dividing, and it dies. This is natural aging. However, you are likely taking a blowtorch to these plastic tips. Scientific studies have proven that chronic stress, lack of sleep, and processed diets act as accelerants. They strip away these protective caps at double or triple the normal speed. A study on mothers caring for chronically ill children showed that their cellular age was 10 years older than their peers due to stress-shortened telomeres. When you say, "This job is killing me," you are biologically correct. You are burning the fuse of your own life, and there is no way to buy more string. Fact 3. The zombie invasion, senescent cells. In a perfect world, when your cells get too old or damaged, they do the honorable thing. They commit a quiet, cellular suicide called apoptosis. They dismantle themselves so fresh, young cells can take their place. But biology is messy. Sometimes these damaged cells refuse to die. They become what scientists call senescent cells, or more colorfully, zombie cells. These microscopic zombies don't do any work. They just sit inside your tissues, taking up space. But here's the bad part. They are terrible roommates. They actively secrete toxic, inflammatory chemicals that poison the healthy cells around them, turning them into zombies too. It's a chain reaction of decay. However, you aren't helpless against this invasion. Your body has a built-in cleaning service called autophagy, literally self-eating. The problem is, this cleaning crew only shows up when you are fasting. If you are constantly grazing on snacks from 7 a.m. to midnight, the cleaners never clock in. The fix is simple. Close the kitchen a little earlier. Give your body a break from digestion so it can take out the trash. Fact 4. Inflammaging, the internal civil war. We usually think of inflammation as a good thing. If you cut your finger, it swells and turns red. That's your immune system rushing in to heal you. That is acute inflammation. But there is an evil twin called chronic systemic inflammation, or inflammaging. This is when your immune system gets confused and stays permanently switched on. Why? Mostly because of what we eat. Diets high in cheap industrial seed oils, like soybean or canola oil, and processed sugars act as constant irritants. Your immune system perceives these substances as threats, but since it can't kill a French fry, it ends up attacking your own arteries, your joints, and even your brain. It is basically a biological civil war. Your body is scorching its own earth to fight a phantom enemy. The result is stiffer joints and hardened arteries. The good news? You can call a ceasefire. By swapping industrial sludge for olive oil or avocado, you lower the alarm bells, and your immune system can go back to its actual job, protecting you from viruses, not your lunch. Fact 5. We are rusting. Oxidative stress. You know what happens when you slice an apple and leave it on the counter for 20 minutes? It turns brown. That is oxidation. And, hate to break it to you, but the exact same thing is happening to your insides right now. You are essentially rusting. This is caused by free radicals, unstable molecules that are missing an electron. They are like chaotic little thieves. To stabilize themselves, they rip electrons away from your healthy cells, damaging your DNA and cell membranes in the process. We get these thieves from fried food, pollution, smoke, and even just breathing oxygen. If left unchecked, this rust degrades your organs and skin. But nature isn't cruel. It gave us a defense. They are called antioxidants, found in berries, dark chocolate, and leafy greens. Think of antioxidants as generous billionaires who donate electrons to the thieves so they stop stealing from your cells. If you eat enough colorful plants, you effectively rust-proof your body. Fact 6. Blue light at night, killing the janitor. Your brain has a very specific janitorial service called the glymphatic system. While you sleep, your brain cells literally shrink by 60%, allowing spinal fluid to wash through and flush out toxic waste products like beta amyloids, the gunk associated with Alzheimer's. It's a power wash for your mind. But this cleaning crew only works if you are in deep sleep, and deep sleep is regulated by a hormone called melatonin. Here is the mistake. Melatonin is the vampire hormone. It only comes out in the dark. When you stare at your smartphone or watch Netflix at 11 p.m., the blue light hits your retina and screams to your brain, "It is noon. Sunlight is everywhere." Your brain panics, suppresses melatonin, and the janitors never show up. You wake up with a brain full of metabolic trash, feeling foggy and old. The fix is embarrassingly easy. Turn the screens off an hour before bed or get some blue light blocking glasses. Let the janitors do their job. Fact 7. Loneliness, the cortisol trap. You might eat organic kale, run marathons, and take cold showers, but if you do all of that alone, you might still be aging faster than a smoker. We often view loneliness as a social problem, but your body views it as a biological emergency. Evolutionarily, being alone meant you were about to be eaten by a predator. So, when you feel lonely, your brain triggers a fight or flight response. It floods your system with cortisol, the stress hormone. A landmark study from Brigham Young University found that chronic social isolation increases your risk of early death by 29%. That is biologically equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day or being an alcoholic. Loneliness creates a state of hypervigilance, causing inflammation and high blood pressure. You are literally worrying yourself to death. The antidote? It doesn't require a prescription. Human connection is a potent anti-aging drug. A 10-minute phone call with a friend can lower your cortisol levels faster than any meditation app. Go hang out with humans. Your white blood cells need the company. Fact 8. Digital dementia, the external brain. Do you know your best friend's phone number by heart? Can you navigate to a new restaurant without GPS? If the answer is no, you might be suffering from digital dementia. We have outsourced our memory to our smartphones, and our brains are paying the price. The hippocampus is the part of your brain responsible for memory and spatial navigation. Like a muscle, if you don't use it, it atrophies. When you rely on Google for every fact and Waze for every turn, your hippocampus literally shrinks. Furthermore, the constant switching between TikTok, emails, and texts creates a multitasking state that prevents your brain from forming deep, long-term memories. You are training your brain to be distracted and shallow. This isn't just about being forgetful, it's about structural decline usually seen in the elderly. But the brain is plastic. You can rebuild it. Turn off the GPS for a route you know. Memorize a shopping list. Force your brain to do the heavy lifting again. Fact 9. Hearing loss, the silent isolator. This is the most ignored risk factor for dementia. You blast music in your earbuds to drown out the world, but you might be drowning out your future cognitive health. When you start losing your hearing, even just a little bit, your brain has to work overtime just to process sound. It reallocates resources from thinking and memory just to understand what people are saying. It's a massive cognitive load. Eventually, the brain gets tired and stops trying. This leads to rapid cortical thinning, brain shrinkage. Johns Hopkins University found that mild hearing loss doubles the risk of dementia. The problem is, hearing damage is often painless and gradual. You don't notice it until you are saying, "What?" every 5 minutes. The fix? The 60-60 rule. Listen at no more than 60% volume for no more than 60 minutes at a time. Protect your ears, because they are the guardians of your mind. Fact 10. Alcohol, the brain solvent. We love to tell ourselves that a glass of wine a day is heart-healthy. It sounds sophisticated. Unfortunately, modern neuroscience is a buzzkill. While antioxidants in wine are good, the ethanol is a neurotoxin that dissolves lipids. And guess what your brain is mostly made of? Fats, lipids. A study of over 36,000 adults revealed that even moderate drinking, 1 or 2 drinks a day, is linked to reduced gray and white matter volume. Essentially, alcohol accelerates the natural shrinkage of the brain that happens with age. You are fast-forwarding the atrophy process. Does this mean you can never have a toast at a wedding? Of course not. But let's stop pretending it's health food. It's a luxury treat that costs you some neurons. If you do drink, hydrate aggressively. Your liver is resilient and can bounce back, but it needs water and a break to do the repair work. Fact 11. The Groundhog Day effect. Routine. We tend to seek comfort and routine. We drive the same route to work, drink the same coffee, and talk to the same 3 people. It feels safe, but to your brain, it is a signal to shut down. The brain is an efficiency machine. If it knows exactly what to expect, it stops building new neural pathways. This is called synaptic pruning. If you don't use it, you lose it. When you live on autopilot, your brain physically disconnects the wires it doesn't need. You aren't just bored, you are biologically decaying. This is why time seems to speed up as you get older. Your brain stops recording new memories because nothing new is happening. To stay young, you need friction. Brush your teeth with your left hand. Take a different route. Learn a language you'll never use. Frustration is the feeling of your brain growing. Comfort is the feeling of it dying. Fact 12. Ultra-processed food. The gut bomb. Go to your pantry and pick up a package. If the ingredients list looks like a chemistry exam and contains words you can't pronounce, put it down. That isn't food, it is an edible industrial substance. And your body has no idea what to do with it. These foods are full of emulsifiers, detergent-like chemicals that keep textures smooth. In your stomach, these emulsifiers act like soap, washing away the protective mucus layer of your gut lining. This leads to leaky gut syndrome. The barrier breaks, and bacteria and toxins leak directly into your bloodstream. Your immune system sees these invaders and launches a full-scale attack, causing brain fog, fatigue, and rapid aging. You aren't just eating a cookie. You are tearing holes in your own defense system. Eat food that rots. If bacteria won't eat your burger, neither should you. Fact 13. Visceral fat, the alien organ. Not all fat is created equal. The fat on your hips or legs is mostly passive energy storage. It just sits there. But the fat around your belly, known as visceral fat, is a biological nightmare. It wraps around your liver and pancreas, and it behaves like an active parasitic organ. Visceral fat is chemically aggressive. It pumps out inflammatory cytokines and hormones 24 hours a day, disrupting your metabolism and stressing your heart. It is like wearing a suit made of poison. The most dangerous part? You can be skinny fat. You might look thin in clothes but still have this toxic fat wrapped around your organs because you have low muscle mass. The scale doesn't tell the truth, your waistline does. If your belly is hard and protruding, that is inflammation, not just weight. Fact 14. Constant grazing, the insulin roller coaster. Somewhere along the line, we were told that eating 6 small meals a day keeps the metabolism fire burning. This was terrible advice. Evolutionarily, humans are built to feast and fast. We are not cows designed to graze all day. Every time you eat, even a healthy snack, your blood sugar rises and your pancreas pumps out insulin. Insulin is a storage hormone. Its job is to store energy. Here is the rule. When insulin is high, fat burning is off. If you are snacking from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., your insulin never drops. You spend your entire life in storage mode. You never give your body the chance to switch to repair mode or burn its own fat reserves. You become metabolically inflexible. Stop fearing hunger. Hunger is just your body finally switching fuel sources. Let it work. Fact 15. The toxic paper, thermal receipts. You go to the grocery store, buy your organic vegetables, and politely take the receipt. You just poisoned yourself. Most modern receipts are not printed with ink. They are printed on thermal paper coated with bisphenol A, BPA, or its cousin, BPS. BPA is a xenoestrogen, a chemical that mimics the female hormone estrogen. And here is the kicker. It absorbs through your skin within seconds. A study published in PLOS One showed that holding a receipt for just a few seconds transfers significant amounts of BPA into your bloodstream, especially if your hands are wet or greasy, like after using hand sanitizer. For men, this is an anti-testosterone bomb. For women, it disrupts hormonal balance. You are literally absorbing plastic hormones through your fingertips. The solution? Say no receipt. Or if you must take it, hold it by the very edge and wash your hands. Don't let a piece of paper rewrite your biology. Fact 16. The minty killer, mouthwash. We have been brainwashed to believe that a healthy mouth must be sterilized. We gargle with harsh, alcohol-based mouthwashes to kill 99.9% of bacteria. Congratulations, you just killed the good guys too. Your mouth is home to specific bacteria that perform a critical job. They convert dietary nitrates into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator. It relaxes your blood vessels and keeps your blood pressure low. When you nuke your mouth with antiseptic, you destroy this production line. Research shows that frequent use of heavy-duty mouthwash correlates with a spike in blood pressure, which is the #1 risk factor for heart attacks and strokes. You are trading bad breath for hypertension. Unless you have an infection prescribed by a dentist, stop trying to sterilize yourself. Your mouth is an ecosystem, not a bathroom floor. Fact 17. Microwave plastic, the hormone soup. Convenience is killing us. We take a plastic container of leftovers, throw it in the microwave, and 2 minutes later, we eat. But you aren't just eating the food, you are eating the container. When plastic is heated, it leaches chemicals called phthalates and BPA into the food, especially if that food is fatty, like meat or cheese. These chemicals are endocrine disruptors. They mess with your thyroid, your fertility, and your metabolism. They signal your body to store fat and reduce muscle tone. It doesn't matter if the box says microwave safe. That just means the plastic won't melt, not that it won't leach chemicals on a molecular level. The rule is simple. Heat destroys plastic bonds. Never, ever heat plastic. Buy glass containers. It's a $20 investment that saves your hormonal future. Fact 18. Sarcopenia, the muscle meltdown. After the age of 30, if you do nothing, you lose about 3% to 5% of your muscle mass per decade. This condition has a name: sarcopenia. Most people ignore it because they think, I don't need to be a bodybuilder. This is a fatal error. Muscle is not just for looking good at the beach, it is the currency of longevity. Muscle is the largest reservoir for glucose disposal, keeping diabetes away, and acts as armor for your bones. If you are skinny fat, thin but mushy, you have the mortality risk of an obese person. When you lose muscle, you become frail. Frailty leads to falls. Falls lead to broken hips, and broken hips in old age are often a death sentence. You don't need to lift cars, but you must lift something heavier than a fork. Resistance training is not optional. It is the only fountain of youth that actually works. Fact 19. Text neck, the 60-pound head. Right now, there is a very high chance you are looking down at your phone to read this. In doing so, you are aging your spine by a decade. Your head weighs about 10 to 12 pounds. But thanks to physics and leverage, for every inch you tilt your head forward, the weight on your cervical spine doubles. At a 60-degree angle, the standard texting position, your head exerts 60 pounds, 27 kilograms, of force on your neck. That is like carrying an 8-year-old child around your neck for 4 hours a day. This constant pressure crushes the discs in your spine, leading to early arthritis and the dreaded turkey neck, sagging skin under the chin. But it gets worse. This posture compresses the vagus nerve and restricts blood flow to the brain. You are literally pinching the hose that feeds your mind. Lift the phone to eye level. It looks stupid, but it saves your spine. Fact 20. Mouth breathing, the long face. Mouth breather is not just an insult, it is a medical diagnosis. Evolution designed you to breathe through your nose. The nose filters air, warms it, and most importantly, produces nitric oxide, which increases oxygen absorption in the lungs by 18%. When you breathe through your mouth, especially while sleeping, you skip this process. You starve your body of oxygen. But the cosmetic damage is even scarier. Chronic mouth breathing changes the shape of your skull. It causes the maxilla, upper jaw, to narrow and the chin to recede, leading to a condition called long face syndrome. Your face literally melts downwards and looks tired. If you wake up with a dry mouth, you are aging your face all night long. Tape your mouth shut at night. Seriously. A tiny piece of surgical tape trains you to use your nose, sharpening your jawline and saving your sleep. Fact 21. The chair. Death by sitting. Sitting is the new smoking. That sounds like a headline, but the biology backs it up. You probably sit for breakfast, sit in the car, sit at work, sit for dinner, and sit on the couch. When you sit for more than 6 hours a day, your body goes into shutdown mode. The electrical activity in your leg muscles drops to zero, but the real killer is an enzyme called lipoprotein lipase. This enzyme grabs fat from your bloodstream and burns it as fuel. When you sit, the production of this enzyme stops almost completely. You aren't just not burning calories, you are chemically unable to process fat. It just circulates in your blood, clogging your arteries. And no, an hour at the gym doesn't cancel out 10 hours of sitting. You need to stand up every 30 minutes, even for just 60 seconds, to restart the enzyme. Fact 22. The collapsing face, missing teeth. We tend to think of teeth as just tools for chewing or smiling. In reality, they are the tent poles that hold up the structure of your face. If you lose a back molar and think, "No one sees it, so I won't replace it," you are making a grave mistake. The bone in your jaw, alveolar bone, requires constant pressure from chewing to stay dense. When a tooth is gone, the bone thinks it is no longer needed and begins to dissolve, resorb. As the bone shrinks, your cheeks lose support and sink inward. The distance between your nose and chin decreases, causing the skin to bunch up and wrinkle prematurely. This is the classic old person look. It's not just wrinkles, it's structural collapse. Keeping your teeth, or getting implants that stimulate the bone, is the most effective facelift you can buy. Fact 23. The comfort trap. Lack of thermal stress. We have engineered our lives to be perfectly comfortable. We go from air-conditioned houses to heated cars to climate-controlled offices. We live in a perpetual 72 degrees Fahrenheit bubble. It feels nice, but it makes your biology lazy and weak. Your body was designed to endure extremes. When you are exposed to intense heat, like a sauna, or bitter cold, like an ice bath, your body produces specific molecules called heat shock proteins and cold shock proteins. These aren't just for survival, they are repair crews. They scour your cells, fixing misfolded proteins and clearing out damage. This process is called hormesis, beneficial stress. By living in constant thermal comfort, you never trigger this repair mechanism. You are like a car that is never taken to the mechanic because it's running fine, until the engine suddenly seizes. Get uncomfortable, sweat, shiver. Remind your genes they need to work. Fact 24. Boiling your skin, hot showers. There is nothing quite like a long, steaming hot shower to relax after a stressful day. Unfortunately, your skin hates it. Biologically, your skin is a brick wall held together by mortar. That mortar is made of lipids, fats/oils, that keep hydration in and bacteria out. Hot water is a solvent. Just like it dissolves grease on a frying pan, it dissolves the natural lipid barrier of your skin. When you step out of a hot shower and your skin feels tight and squeaky clean, that isn't cleanliness. That is damage. You have stripped away your biological armor. This leads to chronic dryness, microcracks, and inflammation, which accelerates the formation of fine lines. If your skin looks red after a shower, the water was too hot. You are essentially boiling your largest organ. Switch to lukewarm water, or at least finish with a cold rinse to seal the deal. Fact 25. The sterile bubble, over-sanitizing. In our quest for health, we have declared war on bacteria. We use antibacterial soaps, hand sanitizers, and bleach everything in sight. We think we are being safe, but we are actually destroying our own defense grid. You are not just a human, you are a walking ecosystem. Trillions of bacteria live on your skin and in your gut, training your immune system and crowding out pathogens. When you constantly sterilize your environment, you kill the good guys along with the bad. This leads to a bored and confused immune system. Without real targets to fight, your immune system starts attacking harmless things like pollen, allergies, or your own tissues, autoimmune disorders. Dirt is not the enemy, sterility is. Exposure to the natural world keeps your immune system smart, sharp, and focused on real threats. Fact 26. Sleeping wrinkles, the pillow face. You spend roughly 1/3 of your life asleep. If you are a side or stomach sleeper, you are spending that time smashing your face against a pillow with the weight of your head, about 10 pounds. This creates sleep lines. Unlike expression lines, which are caused by smiling or frowning muscles, sleep lines are caused by mechanical shear force. You are physically ironing wrinkles into your skin for 8 hours a night. Over decades, these temporary creases become permanent fractures in the collagen matrix. Dermatologists can often tell which side you sleep on just by looking at the depth of the nasolabial fold, the line from nose to mouth, on that side. It is the most low-tech way to age yourself. The solution is difficult, but free. Learn to sleep on your back. It defies gravity and saves your face from being crushed. Fact 27. Metabolic jet lag, late-night eating. If you are eating a full meal at 10 p.m., you are committing a crime against your circadian rhythm. Your body has a specific clock for every organ. When the sun goes down and melatonin rises, your pancreas wants to sleep. It becomes slow and resistant to insulin. When you dump a load of calories into your system late at night, your body is confused. It thinks it is daytime. This creates metabolic jet lag. Instead of burning that energy, your body hoards it as visceral fat. But worse, high insulin levels block the release of human growth hormone, HGH. HGH is the repair hormone that fixes your cells while you sleep. By eating late, you turn off the repair crew. You wake up heavier, groggier, and biologically older because you didn't let the night shift do its job. Close the kitchen when the sun goes down. Fact 28. The indoor plague, vitamin D deficiency. We call it a vitamin, but that is a lie. Vitamin D is actually a steroid hormone that controls the expression of over 1,000 genes in your body. It regulates everything from your immune system to your bone density and testosterone levels. Humans are solar-powered. We are designed to synthesize this hormone from sunlight. But because we live in caves made of concrete and glass, nearly 50% of the global population is deficient. Without D, your bones become brittle, osteoporosis. Your immune system becomes blind to cancer cells, and your mood plummets. You can't eat enough salmon to fix this. If you aren't getting midday sun on your bare skin, you are running your machine on an empty tank. Get a blood test. Supplementing this one hormone is the cheapest anti-aging insurance policy you can buy. Fact 29. The face of hate, chronic anger. They say, holding a grudge is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Biologically, this is accurate. Anger is not just an emotion. It is a high-octane physical state. It floods your system with adrenaline and cortisol, tightening your blood vessels and spiking your blood pressure. If you stay angry for years, this chronic tension permanently changes your face. The muscles around the mouth and brows stay in a microspasm, etching deep vertical lines between the eyebrows, the 11s, and pulling the mouth corners down. You literally sculpt a mask of misery. But internally, it's worse. Research shows that people with high hostility scores have significantly shorter telomeres. Your hatred is literally eating your DNA. Forgiveness isn't a spiritual act, it is a selfish act of self-preservation. Let it go, or it will take you with it. Fact 30. The yo-yo effect, destroying elasticity. The diet industry thrives on your failure. They want you to lose 20 pounds, gain back 25, and then pay them again. This cycle, known as yo-yo dieting, is a disaster for your aging process. Think of your skin like a rubber band. You can stretch it once or twice and it will snap back. But if you stretch it and release it over and over again, the rubber loses its snap. It becomes loose and flaccid. Rapid weight loss followed by rapid gain destroys the elastin fibers in your skin. The result is sagging skin that makes you look older than if you had just stayed at a stable, higher weight. Furthermore, every time you crash diet, you lose muscle. When you regain the weight, you gain fat. You end up with a higher body fat percentage and a slower metabolism than when you started. Pick a lifestyle, not a diet, and stay steady. If you are still watching, congratulations. You have just survived a list of 30 biological threats that would make most people close the tab in denial. The fact that you are here means you are not looking for comfort. You are looking for control. And because you stayed, you deserve the keys to the VIP room. There are 3 final markers of aging that most doctors won't mention until it's too late. These are the secret metrics. Bonus fact 31. The hand of death, grip strength. You might think your doctor can predict your lifespan by listening to your heart or checking your cholesterol, but the most accurate crystal ball might actually be a handshake. This sounds like carnival magic, but it is hard science published in The Lancet. Grip strength is one of the most powerful biomarkers of biological age. It isn't just about hand muscles. Your grip is a proxy for the health of your entire nervous system and total muscle mass. Weak hands correlate with a higher risk of heart disease, stroke, and all-cause mortality. If you cannot hang from a pull-up bar for at least 30 seconds, or if you struggle to open a jar, your body is flashing a check engine light. This is the first sign of frailty. The fix? Pick up heavy things, carry groceries, hang from a bar. Strong hands don't just open doors, they keep the door to the grave closed for a little longer. Bonus fact 32. The fruit juice lie, liquid fat. We have been sold a lie that a glass of orange juice is part of a balanced breakfast. Metabolically speaking, you might as well drink a beer with your cereal. Fruit contains fructose, but in nature that fructose is packaged in a matrix of fiber, the pulp and skin, which slows down absorption. When you juice the fruit, you remove the fiber and are left with a concentrated sugar bomb. Here is the scary part. Almost every cell in your body can use glucose for energy, but only the liver can process fructose. When you drink juice, it hits the liver like a tsunami. Overwhelmed, the liver has no choice but to turn that energy directly into visceral fat. This leads to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, a condition that makes your liver look like it belongs to an alcoholic, even if you've never touched a drop of liquor. Eat the fruit, don't drink it. Bonus fact 33. The placebo of youth, subjective age. This is the strangest fact of all. In 1981, Harvard psychologist Ellen Langer conducted the counterclockwise study. She took a group of 70-year-old men and put them in a house retrofitted to look exactly like 1959. They had to act, speak, and live as if they were 20 years younger. The results were biologically impossible. After a week, their vision improved, their joints became more flexible, their grip strength increased, and they looked visibly younger in photographs. They didn't take pills, they changed their mindset. If you constantly say, "I'm too old for this," or "My back hurts because of age," you are giving your body a command to degrade. Your cells listen to your thoughts. The moment you decide you are old, you start walking slower, thinking slower, and dying faster. The ultimate biohack is to simply refuse to accept the label. Conclusion. I know, this was a lot. 33 ways we are breaking ourselves. It feels overwhelming, but here is the beautiful truth about human biology. Your body is a machine designed for forgiveness. Your liver can regenerate in 6 weeks. Your skin replaces itself every month. Your brain can build new connections until the day you die. The damage I described today is not a life sentence, it is a choice. You can stop the sugar face, you can lengthen your telomeres, and you can rebuild your brain. You just have to stop hitting the self-destruct button. Take a screenshot of the checklist on the screen. Pick just one thing to change tomorrow. Not all 33, just one. And if you are one of the few who made it to the very end of this file, prove it. Type the word biohacker in the comments below. Let's see how many of us are ready to take control.